show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced and get happy with Dr. Marissa. And this show is about hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have shows and topics.
Sunday, Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days.
Monday, Tuesday,
Happy days.
Wednesday, Thursday,
Happy days.
Friday, whatever.
Happy days.
What a day. Na, 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 na.
I love you.
I love you too.
Best known as the mom from Happy Days, and she is a delightful 89-year young Marion Ross to my studio. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Dr. Marissa, this is such a treat for me.
Oh.
My goodness, you're a wonderment.
Which is exactly the kind of guest that I like. Those who have gone through life, good and bad, and then taken those experiences to alchemize them into the person they are now and doing good on the planet. I'd like you to welcome Corey Feldman.
If you're grateful for it and you say right away, thank you, God. Oh, my God, that's so beautiful. I'm so blessed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then guess what? More good things will come to you.
Does this sound familiar at all? She's back again to mark my Cancer Awareness and Prevention Month show. Please welcome Fran Drescher. Hi, Fran.
On and supporting cancer schmance. I really appreciate it.
So what would you say are some of the biggest myths, Fran, that people have about cancer?
Well, I would say that they think that there's a cure for it.
Okay.
Instead of a cause for it.
This is the first call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else. Right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
you are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Nah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so I can come over.
Come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, iTunes, TuneIn, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, and more. Happy Monday to everyone. I am Dr. Marissa, your hashtag positively opinionated host, here to start your day in the most positive way with guests and topics to that end. I am on show number 730. What was it now? 35. So I'm glad that you're still here. I just saw Liz check in. She's excited for my guest today. She is an amazing musical artist who I'm going to do a formal introduction in a second. But she performed yesterday at the Agape International Spiritual Center. She used to do backup for Madonna. She has been a solo artist for a long time with brilliant music that I'm going to be sharing with you. So without further ado, I'm going to bring her into the studio. Please welcome Donna De Lory. Hold on. Good morning.
Hello, how are you?
I am happy and grateful and so delighted that you're here. And I don't know if it's mine or yours. Do you mind closing out of anything that you're on? Only because you're just a little bit fuzzy and I don't know if it's mine or yours. But while I am setting this up there, that's better right there. And I'm so delighted that you could come. We've been trying to set this up for maybe 10 years.
Really?
No, I'm kidding. Well, actually, it's been a while. It's been a while. We met, you were performing, you blew me away. And I was very, very delighted that yesterday I caught you and things just happen the way they're supposed to happen. And one of these days we're actually going to perform together because I think you saw me do some of my balanced Tai Chi Gong and we talked about having that with your music. So yeah. I'm so delighted that you could come. And before we get into all about you, I like to start my shows with something that I call Have Breakfast With Me. And we have a bite of a gratitude sandwich. So what that means is we start the show with 8 specific things that we're grateful for. So I'll do one, you do one. Liz is actually blowing up the chat right now. She loves you.
So sweet.
She's Liz, you can also play along and put your gratitudes in the chat. So that way we can have breakfast together. So I am grateful for finally getting you on the show. And you are grateful for something specific. You can't say friends and family.
No, I'm grateful for this cup of Dragonwell tea that I just bought some new tea leaves at the Dragon Herb Company yesterday.
That sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that Liz saw the promo that you were coming on and hopped on to the chat. Any of you who are listening, if you're driving in the car right now, listening to the AM or FM channel, please do not try to get on your phone to watch, but just to let you know that I do have the streaming capacity now post-COVID. So YouTube and Facebook also runs this live stream, so you can come and chat and interact and ask Donna any questions through the show. I am grateful for my sound engineer, Polly, who is in the background always helping me make this show fabulous. So I'm grateful for him. Your turn.
I am grateful for technology.
Yes, so you don't have to drive to the studio. And I realize as an artist, this is early, so I appreciate the effort that you took.
It's only early because yesterday I woke up at like 5 to go, get ready and go do agape. And
That's
then it was so great seeing you. At first you're like, how about tomorrow morning? I was thinking, oh, I'm going to sleep in tomorrow.
Beautiful. And
But
Liz
it's nice to
is
be awake.
chiming in. Grateful that music is her gift, which is great. I am grateful that I'm a retired lounge lizard. I used to sing as well. I don't know if you knew that, Donna. I actually had a fork in my
No.
life road. I had a demo in the works with 5 Star who did Sade. I had a number of songs, originals, and instead of going to get my PhD, that's what I was going to do. And my dad flew down. He's a PhD and said,
Wow.
you're good, but you're not that good. And didn't you want a PhD? So he goes, you can always come back to music. And he was right. I started with the Agape International Spiritual Choir. And that's how we met. So I'm grateful for
How long
music.
ago? When did you join the choir?
I joined choir. Let's see, I've been at Agape 13 years. So I joined the choir 12, maybe 11 and a half years ago, because you have to be at Agape for 6 months to a year and do classes before you qualify for choir. So that's how long. Yeah. And your turn.
Gratitude. I'm grateful for this beautiful, I'm sitting in my bed right now. There's an EMF blocking canopy that I get to be in, but fortunately right now it's not blocking the EMFs. So I open it during the day and then I close it at night so it can just be protective.
Oh, where are you located now?
I'm in
Oh, you just froze for a second here.
state park, which a lot more people know about the state park now because since COVID, everybody was looking for places to get out and go hiking and everything. So it's really interesting. I see a lot more hikers, a lot more people in the state park enjoying the nature and this beautiful park.
Ed here, and Liz is saying, I'm grateful that I was the musical director of Unity Church for almost 20 years. Oh, I didn't know that, Liz. That's cool. All right, and one more, Donna, and we'll have our 8.
One more. I'm grateful for my children.
Oh, how many children do you have?
So I have a 13-year-old and a 19-year-old, 2 girls, and Luciana is the younger 13-year-old, and Sophia is the 19-year-old. And we're going to be driving her car to college, back to college for her second year in August. Outside of Portland.
Oh, outside of Portland.
So it's at Lewis and Clark. Yeah.
That's so cool that I only know you as singer, songwriter, performer, stage artist, musical artist.
Yeah.
And then like shocker, 2 girls. I have 2 girls, 22 and 24. 22 and 24.
Wow.
And the baby just graduated double major psych and Chinese from UC Davis like a month ago.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So we have that in common. And that's what I love about this show. I'm so grateful, extra gratitude that I get a chance to meet people and have them on and get to know them. So
yes,
yeah, that is so cool. All right. That's the top of the bun. If you're following along, if you've listened at all, this is an exercise that came out of one of my teachers, Dr. Wayne Dyer, who's on the other side, who said, start your day with 5 gratitudes. I'm an overachiever, so I do 8. And 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. So if you want to bracket your day so that good things come to you, top of the bun is gratitude. Bottom of the bun is appreciation. So before you go to bed, instead of scrolling through what's going on and all of your friends' lives and feeling good or bad or getting angry or worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow or being mad at somebody for what they said today, I want you to have 8 appreciations for yourself. If you can learn this art of self-soothing, then I promise your day will be better. Your morning, your next day will be better. So 4 things, Donna, that you appreciate about yourself. Liz, you can also play along with this. These are specific to your qualities, abilities, and talents, and gifts. So I appreciate my ability to laugh often and much.
I appreciate my ability to heal my body.
I appreciate my ability to, sometimes it takes a little while, but to say sorry. And let's see, Donna?
Do we go back and forth? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I appreciate my ability to be childlike, especially with our dogs.
Oh, what kind of dogs?
They're golden doodles.
Oh, I love those. Awesome.
You know, we had to, I always got dogs from the pound, and we had to get these hypoallergenic because my husband is extremely allergic. So we got these cute golden doodles, and we got one 6 years, 7 years ago. And the other one, it happened to be 6 years later, we got her half brother from the same breeder. So they're so close, and they're always playing, and we get in there and play with them and become a dog. And my daughter trains them to jump and everything. It's super fun. It's better than watching. I always say we're watching the dog show instead of like watching a show or TV. So it's nice way to spend time with your child, with an animal.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate that I am sensed by dogs. I have a grand dog son, Pablo, who's a Frenchie. My daughter's boyfriend's dog. I have a nephew, 2 nephews, Mason and Dixon, from my bonus family, who are constant sources of my TikTok love when I post about them. And I don't know, I'm sure you have it too, that when I know that I'm a good person, because dogs that don't normally come to people or kids that are usually shy with people, I inherited this from my dad, who's on the other side in heaven, but they come to me. And I am so appreciate that I got that from my dad. And I fundamentally, even though 88% of the time I act like it, 12% of the time I step in it, and I may not be as loving and caring as I am, I may not act that way, I know that fundamentally I'm a good person. Yeah. And Liz is saying she appreciates her crazy sense of humor. And then last one for you, Donna.
So I appreciate where I live, the land that we live on, and how it just gives so much nourishment. We grow, we've been planting for years. We've been here 19 years. So now there's like arugula growing wild, and mint and all kinds of things coming up from the land, giving us, I feel like it's like a big thank you. We've been taking care of the land.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that relationship with nature.
Yay. That's wonderful. All right. We've had our breakfast together, and let's do a little. To mark the end of that little exercise. And I so appreciate, Liz, you playing along this morning. For those of you who've just tuned in and wondering who this lovely woman who is live in my studio this morning is, her name is Donna De Lory. She's a singer, songwriter, and producer whose radiant voice and expansive musical vision encompass pop, world music, electronica, and devotional mantras. Albums like The Lover and The Beloved, Sanctuary, The Unchanging, Here in Heaven, and her most recent release, Gone Beyond, have made her an icon in the yoga, meditation, mindfulness community. But she has also circled the globe as a backing vocalist and dancer. Oh, and dancer, I didn't know that part, for Madonna and has sung on landmark albums by artists such as Bette Midler, Leonard Cohen, Belinda Carlisle, Carly Simon, and Selena. De Lory's dance hits include Praying for Love, Just a Dream, and on and on. One more time, please welcome to my studio, Donna De Lory. See, guests that do the gratitude sandwich with me get, twice the applause. And we're going to jump into, let's see, I'm going to do them in the order that you gave them. Actually, you pick. Should we go to Ma Song, Listen, Sat Siri, or Heaven?
Wow. Well, let me see. You just play a little bit of them.
Yeah.
Like a touch. Let's start with Heaven, because here we are in heaven.
There we go.
Gratitude and appreciation, and
good choice. All right, let's go to Heaven. Here we go.
Here in heaven, in your eyes I see reflections of 1,000 mysteries. When I look in your eyes, I see divinity looking back at me. Heaven could be anywhere, so why not here? Heaven could be anywhere, why not here? You've walked the world, you've opened up the skies, dancing with the gods of another time. You walked the world, hoping to find what's always been right here between you and I. You and I. Heaven can be anywhere, so why not here? Heaven can be anywhere, why not here? So why not right here, where love can dry all our tears? Heaven could be anywhere, so why not here? I'm your Horengekyo, 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 I'm your Here in heaven, right here in heaven, you can think the sky, but everybody's right here.
I'm sorry, I could not just stop that. That was so beautiful, Donna.
Isn't that beautiful? There's a lot in that because that Edison Park, the man who's doing the
Tai Chi.
yeah,
Yeah.
and the Taekwondo. He's
okay.
just like, it's deeply in his family. You know, his father, grandfather, they were masters, and he learned from them. That was my daughter's teacher in Topanga. So I used to sit every week, you know, I'd go to class and I'd sit on the ground, and I wanted to join in, and I started like learning certain moves. And his beautiful spirit, you know, I just started talking to him about this video. And then we all got kind of worked on moves together. The woman in it is my older daughter's stepmother. And she has a dance company called Artist Entrance. So of young dancers, they're all, it's like a dance school. So you audition to get in, then she helps, you know, teach you. She brings in guest teachers and works with mainly teenage dancers. So I went to her and I said, I'd love you to be in it and be like the Kuan Yin character, and then also have some of your students in it. So it was really sweet. At the end of the video, Kevin Staya is one of the dancers from Truth or Dare, from Madonna's Blonde Ambition tour, who I knew. He came in and went in and worked with them and helped me kind of cast the dancers. And it was just so sweet to see them. Like when he came in, they just loved him so much as a dancer, and they were so excited, and it was really fun. And Nick Spanos, who has been like director of my videos and also photographer, is a dear friend. So he carried out my vision with this. And I, you know, since listening to Joseph Campbell years and years ago, talking about heaven is right here, right now. And if we don't see that, you know, we're going to miss the point of all of this.
So. Absolutely. Like every part of that, the color. I want that jacket, by the way, the long one.
Which one?
The long one.
The one that was on
one. Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to work something out.
Exactly. Let's work something out.
I have one that's over 200 years old with from China, hand embroidered. So we might be able to do a little, you know, we'll borrow it.
Yeah, let's do that. We could do that. I've got it in my extra storage costume closet. So
God, it was gorgeous. There's so many things. The Kuan Yin. Do you know that is my spirit guide? That I actually didn't even know who Kuan Yin was. And a friend of mine said, "Well, just put a thing under your pillow asking, you know, who's my spirit guide." And I had a dream about this Asian woman with high hair and, you know, a white robe. And I told her, and she said, "Oh, that's Kuan Yin." I'm like, "Who's Kuan Yin?" And then to come to find out, that is also my big brother, Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith's spirit person too. So that's why we're so, you know, connected energetically, is because of that. And now you. So it's so amazing. It's so amazing. Now I know why. So, because I've been drawn to you since we met, 8 years ago, whatever. So that explains it. There you go, Kuan Yin energy. So,
yes, absolutely.
I also heard the line in there, heaven is a place on earth. Now, isn't that one of Madonna's, in one of the songs? Because you wrote for Madonna, no?
No, I didn't. You know, there was one song I actually did yesterday that it was so funny. So many people used to say, you should give that to Madonna. And, you know, at that point, because the song's called Glow, and my original recording on it, there was a rapper that was in it. And I wrote it with a man named Eric Bazillion, he wrote, "What if God was one of us?" And,
yeah.
You know, they wanted to get it to Madonna, but at that point, I mean, honestly, she writes everything, you know.
Right.
Really, she's such a vision, and it originates from her and her concepts and everything. So, I don't ever see her doing any outside songs anymore. That was more beginning of her career. But there was a lot of, you know, the time that I worked with her, there was a lot of collaborating, of course, you know, whether it was in the studio, working on background parts, or even, you know, Nikki Harris and I, you know, being called to do the MTV Awards, and then we'd all get together in a studio and talk about the moves that we do when we go out dancing. And then what do we want to incorporate and what do we want to put into this routine for this opening number of the MTV Awards or the Grammys.
I just love learning all these new things about you. I had no idea. I mean, I didn't know about the Madonna until I was doing research yesterday. I'm like, what?
That's funny.
What? So, how long did you tour with her or work with Madonna?
So I did 6 world tours with her. And I never thought it was going to last that long. You know, I started when I was like 21, 22. And then, you know, it was like, it really, like, her success, it was so huge when I started working with her. But then 1990 and with the movie and everything, I feel like that was like such a peak for her. And with the Vogue song that Nikki and I sang on, and it just.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Now, I met her.
And a lot of people know us from that. And then 94, we did
Sorry, we just cut out a bit. I don't know what's going on with the internet, but can you repeat that last part when you were just talking about the tour?
Yeah, so I think 1990, everybody always says, what was your favorite tour? And that, I mean, I have so many great memories from that time because of, you know, maybe it was like the whole cast. We all were like, we really were like a family. Working with Vince Patterson, the choreographer, it was just such a deep, you know, learning experience. And I felt like we were really at our potential, you know. And if you go and look at some of those clips, and you were saying you didn't know I danced, we were dancing as much as Madonna was on that tour. And even on the next tour in 1994. Then there was a long break because she went and did Evita, and we still kept working with her on records and Evita soundtrack and everything. And then we toured again in, I think it was 2001. And that was 9/11. That was our last show, was right after 9/11. And then Nikki left, and I kept working with her 2 more tours. And then that was it. And, you know, you can't replace Nikki. So it was really different after Nikki Harris left. And it was still great, but we weren't as big of a part of the show because we had such a chemistry with her all together.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, you know, I was so grateful to have a job. I had a 1-year-old in 2004. Wow. And I went on tour with her.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's a whole story in itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went on tour again. My last tour with her, I had my daughter was 3. And believe it, like when she was 3, it did get a little more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was like different than having like a 1.5-year-old.
Sure.
But it was a great experience. I was so lucky to work with someone who also had originally been a single mother, and she knew what it was like to be out with children, and she just had a lot of understanding for me. And it was really nice. You know, there's a woman who's writing a book right now who's been interviewing me, and I'm talking a lot about that aspect of it, of just working for a really powerful woman, and coming up, like being born in the 60s and having a mom that was from that such a different time. My mom was, you know, tried to fit into the mold of being like a homemaker and didn't really have a career. And even my older sister wasn't really like a career person, you know, but to go into this at a young age, working with this person who was such a creative powerhouse. And it was like this big sister with all this influence and a lot to learn from. A lot.
What would you say is one of the most important or influential things that you learned from working with Madonna?
I mean, it's really to be able to be a producer and direct my own music. And I come from, you know, my dad was a legendary musician and arranger and a producer, and I was always in the studio with him, but that was my father. It was my father figure. My dad was the composer, the piano player. I would sit at the piano and hum along and sing. my dad would hire me to sing his songs when I was a teenager, to do his demos and things. But to go and work with someone who's like the boss and produces and has a big vision and is a woman, it was really great for me to have that example. And I felt like, okay, I can do this. I can follow in these footsteps. I started going in the studio, and I felt more empowered to have a voice. And it's tough. I mean, it's tough. You're working with a lot of these mostly male musicians and producers. And to get that kind of confidence, it takes years, obviously.
Yeah, but that's wonderful to have such a powerful role model. I haven't done research on her, so I don't know her background at all. I did meet her once in Italy, in Portofino, and we crossed paths. And it wasn't until we had crossed that I went, I think I'm the worst at recognition for a media person. I'm the worst. But it was, I could feel her energy, that power. So what's something about her that most people don't know because you had the ability to work with her? And then we'll get off of her. Oh, gee.
We all, it's just the way it is. And and even fear, and it's just, you listen to those voices. Do they let you hold you back from your vision, from your drive but it's mainly about your vision of what you see for your life. And of course I saw those being so close to her, just like all of us, the insecurities and the fears, like we all have. But the great thing that I learned is just, those don't have to overtake you and hold you back from creating and releasing and being, self-realized, finding yourself, and then expressing that out to the world.
Great lesson. Yeah, I interviewed Marianne Williamson a couple of times. She came on the show, and I asked her about that voice in the head that, keeps criticizing us and keeping us down. And I said, what does yours say to you? And she goes, I don't have that voice. I went, oh, okay. Something to work towards. But
I love her. She's beautiful. She was it's really interesting because when I got pregnant and I was going to be a single mom initially, it was Madonna and Marianne were the two women in my life that I reached out to for guidance and for, as role models. So it's interesting you brought her up. Marianne Williamson. I love her so much.
Yeah.
I wish I still had those emails where they were both just like, this is a miracle. You can do this, so much encouragement. And they both had done it themselves. So it was nice to be able to look up to them. And
I did it too. A single mom for two.
Yeah.
So it's a chiseling experience. And I'm grateful for it.
I totally, I did not see it coming, but I ended up meeting my husband now a week before my due date with my first daughter. So we met at one of my concerts, and you can imagine how pregnant I was. And he had just gone out of his residency. And he was like this hippie doctor guy. And it was so funny. I remember that night after the concert, they all were going out to dinner. And he was like, you want to come with us? And I thought, Donna, go home. You're going to have a baby in a week. Don't go meet this guy tonight. I didn't go meet him, but he wrote me a letter and we became friends. And then we ended up getting together a few months later. So he became the father figure for my daughter. And then, so she has two dads.
So is that the first daughter? Second daughter?
That was my first daughter.
Oh, your first.
And then my second daughter I had with my husband.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your first husband was out of the picture when you were pregnant with her.
Yeah. It was a boyfriend. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then he kind of, he's in the movie business and everything, and it was always away on location. And then he ended up coming back. Definitely he's in her life in a big way. So
that's great.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and listen to another one. Ma Song, Listen, or Satsiri.
Listen is, we were talking about children, and I started as a child singer. So listen, I went into my daughter's 3rd grade class and I asked them to be part of this. So we went into the school auditorium and we set up mics. I got my friend who's an engineer to set up the whole setup there, and using the natural reverb in the auditorium was amazing. So this is when you see the kids in the auditorium, they also came into my guest house, into my studio. You see them in there too. So this is a beautiful song with these children singing. Listen.
Yay.
And what's that sound?
Listen to the voice of your heart. It's asking. Listen to the sound of your soul. It's calling. In this life that we're living, there's a voice that speaks within. People of the heart, listen. In this life that we're living, there's a voice that speaks within. People of the heart, listen, 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 listen to your heart. Listen to the voice of La Madre. She's crying, wanting us to wake up from this dream. Start believing in each other. In this life that we're living, there's a voice that speaks within. People of the heart, listen. In this life that we're living, there's a gift we've all been given. Open up our heart, listen, 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 listen to each other's heart. Streets, what we want to see, what we want to be. Listen and believe, Mama Earth is waiting for us to love freely. We've all been gifted, let our souls be lifted. Let's be lifted. There's no need to doubt. Our wonder can be found.
All right, I have to stop this because there's just so much we can talk about and do, and it's beautiful. And please go and
you can always, everyone can
watch that later.
My videos are. Yeah, the videos are on my website, donnadelory.com. You can go to my YouTube channel, like everyone. We all have YouTube channels now. So.
Yes, we do. But yours, I just love how inspiring and how perfectly the words and the music and the children, that video should be something like a theme right now, because it really captures the hope side of what's going on. So
absolutely.
Please go and watch that. Go to donnadelory.com is your website.
Yes.
Yes. And I wanted to spend a little time before I knew it would run, because we're having fun. But your new album that just came out, is a hashtag COVID silver lining, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about your new album.
So I got to, just be in the studio by myself, and I got to do what I love the most in the studio, which is just layering my voice and working on, the arrangements with the vocals. So I'd go in every day and put down more and more vocals. And in the end, the poor engineer had to sort through everything when he was mixing. But it all worked out, and it's beautiful. It's more meditative, I wanted to make something that people could really, like all my records, I want to have them a flow, so you could put it on for a meditation practice or yoga practice or dance, or it's a mood, and it's very dynamic, but it goes through these moods, and there's the spiritual devotional thread through the whole thing. Some of it is mantra, some of it's English, some of it is, just a lot of vocal textures. So it's called Gone Beyond, and it's translation of one of the mantras, Om Gate Gate Para Gate, Parasam Gate Bodhisoha, that is on the record, and translated Gone Beyond to a Further Shore. And I wanted to originally call it A Further Shore, but a friend of mine, Belinda Carlisle, had also made a chant CD called Wilder Shores. And I wanted to, like, out of respect to her, have her that title. And I said, okay, Gone Beyond. And I just hoped that people would listen to this music and just have it really just take them to this place. And I'm going more, I love dancing. I love my electronic remixes, but I'm working on another healing CD with a lot of positive affirmations and a lot of you talked about the gratitude and the appreciation, and to know that we, when we're going through challenging times, we go out in the world and we try to find answers and people to give us information and to help fix us, but it's really an inside job. And for us to go tune into ourselves, and if I can make music to help people do that, that's what I'm here for, and going more in that direction.
Well, you do. You are doing it, and it's beautiful. And I noticed a couple times in several different of the music videos, you do this, and you just direct us to the heart, and you bring the music to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed. And it's so beautiful. And the work that you do is so important, especially now. So I just, I'm so glad that I could support and, bring you to a new audience. And I love the fact that it's almost like, how I credit, well, you don't know, but I credit Oprah with bringing spirituality to the masses.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're bringing, it's interesting, your path from, the pop secular Madonna, representative of that, the queen of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you going solo and into, this other space to allow it to be meaningful and to embody body, mind, spirit, soul. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And you are the queen. She's always at the Bhakti Festival. She's a headliner for all of those kinds of things. And starting at age 8, you started your career, which is like your long lasting, right? Your
singing and
dancing, which I didn't even know.
I started singing in the studio. Yeah, we got one of the things I did with it. So I went to the Disneyland ride a few years ago. They were still playing the recording, but I think they changed it since then. But it was the recording that were on the Disney records, but also It's a Small World After All. That was playing like as you enter the ride. And it's beautiful.
I read that. You're the voice of It's a Small World. I mean, come on.
Come on, everybody. It is a small world. And
it is a small world. For sure.
It is. But thank you so much for all of your support. And it was so, it's just, there's no accidents, of course. And just our meeting yesterday was like by chance, because I was going to stay a little longer. And I was like, I got to go right now. And then we met right in the front of, in the lobby of the Saban Theater. And then you were saying you had a cancellation or something. You said tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad this worked out. And it's,
Me too.
it's great to connect with you in this way.
Yeah, absolutely. And keep it tuned because I'm going to be, we talked about having me do my Tai Chi with one of
that
your
would be incredible.
songs. And I think that, I haven't decided. I don't know, heaven. I like heaven, but there's well, you know what? Heaven would be the one because we're not going to be able to have your masters in the background,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
It's just your music. So it's already set up for
Yeah.
that energy. So we just chose, we did what I wanted to do, which was to choose the song. So the next time you perform Heaven, I'm coming along.
That'll be great. And it'll be great because the audience will be there. And I need them to sing the heaven. They sing that and as a bed, and then we do our thing over that. It's really beautiful. It's like a big, vocal exercise for everyone.
And I know exactly what form I'm going to do is the butterfly, which is the form that dispels the voices that tell us that we're not beautiful, that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy. So the butterfly is so powerful in its in unblocking those BS belief systems that keep us thinking we're fat, ugly, clumsy, not good enough. So that's the form we'll open with.
That's beautiful. I love the butterfly. I love it.
We just choreographed what we wanted to do. So I got my needs are met. my intentions are manifest. We do have a couple minutes. I did want to have you speak to, when people are in this place of loss, like right now, a lot of people, I call it PPSD, post-pandemic stress disorder, or dilemma, not disorder, but a dilemma. And they're sad. And I read that you went through some loss yourself, your mom, your older sister. That's like serious loss. So what advice do you have for listeners who are in that space?
Wow. The first thing that came to me when you start talking was just do what you love, and through the pandemic with the fear and I don't know if I can be around people and everything, but there I was yesterday. And I remember going back to Agape and playing with the musicians and the people. And I thought, this is what I love. I love working with other artists and musicians. And I have to find a way to do this where I still am honoring myself and I feel safe, but I can't deny what I love. And sometimes it could be so simple, traveling, being with community, going out in the park and doing Tai Chi or yoga, or find a way to, I think as this rises and falls, the COVID scare and everything, we just have to get out there and find a way to do this comfortably and not isolate. It's so easy for us with the technology to isolate.
For sure.
Okay, if you need to get out earlier to meet your friends, go out earlier instead of in the evening. Find different things. I would meet everyone to go on a walk. I would get them, come to Topanga and go on a walk in the state park with me instead of going out to dinner somewhere,
Right.
and have that connection and share that. But I'm feeling for everyone and I'm there as well. And I don't know how much I want to travel. Everything's kind of changed, but if we look at it as a really positive opportunity to know ourselves in a different way, and just back to the gratitude always, and find the joys and the sorrows.
Yeah. Emphasis on joy. We'll always have sorrow. I mean, that's
Buddhism. Life. All life is sorrowful. Find the joys in the sorrow. But to acknowledge, a friend of mine was with me yesterday, and he had to sit through the whole talk because he didn't want to get up and leave and disrupt anything. He had to sit there. And he's like, yeah, I needed to hear that. He was talking about the voices in his head. And I said, we all have them. We're all there. So to hear him say, I needed that, I've been in this place, and I realized how much he had felt so alone. And I just kept reminding him. So it's another thing is to remind each other and just be real with each other.
Yeah,
right?
That's great. That's great. Well, we're out of time.
Yes, we are.
Because that's just, how I roll. I never have enough time.
Nope.
But it's okay. Time is my most valuable resource. I'm so glad that I spent it with you this morning. I would like to gift you with a download of my practice, Balanced Tai Chi Gong.
Beautiful. I will be using that.
Also, the Asian Oprah giveaway today is a download copy of this 28-minute moving meditation practice that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. I also did not ask you, is there anything that you would like to give away? If there's any kind of download of a song that you are able to gift. Sorry to put you on the spot, but we
can always do that. How would we set that up?
So I'll give you a name.
My dog
so
wants to come in now.
The first person that goes to drmarissa.life and puts down heaven. Let's put heaven down in the subject line. I'll send them to you, or send their name and email address so that they can get a download of one of your songs. How's that?
Perfect. And I'm gonna, when you were saying about playing and things coming up, Bhakti Love is my next appearance. That's on September 15th. It's another kind of Bhakti festival, and that's
Love
by Bakersfield, and that's on my website. So maybe you should come out.
That'll be the one. Let's
Yeah.
put it on the calendar. I'll September 15th.
Yeah. It's going to be beautiful. So many of my friends I haven't seen, speaking of getting back together with people, a lot of friends that are in this kind of genre of devotional, conscious living, music and lifestyle will be there. Beautiful yoga teachers and beautiful musicians.
It is Thursday, September 15th, and I blocked it off on my calendar. So it's done. We now have a date. We have a song. We have a date.
Yay.
I'm so grateful that you were able to come in studio at short notice. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. I do this thing at the end with me. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. I hope you have the best day ever. I hope you've enjoyed this wonderful conversation with DonnaDeLory.com. Go and support her there. See you tomorrow.